Are you joining me for Plastic Free July? Let's learn more. Hello and welcome to First Gen Money, a YouTube channel for all things money and lifestyle from a millennial perspective. In today's video, I'm going to walk through Plastic Free July, why I'm doing it, and some ways that you can reduce your plastic waste. Plastic Free July is a challenge by the Plastic Free Foundation, and it really encourages people across the world to participate in a month of reducing your plastic waste. And so this initiative helps us think about what our life would look like if we just used less plastic. And so what Plastic Free July is not, it is not a zero waste lifestyle, does not mean that you must not use any plastic, but instead encourages you to reduce it in any way that you can. Instead of saying, I'm not going to buy any plastic, and of course, you can definitely do that. It helps you be more mindful about exactly what kind of plastic you are buying, what you are consuming, which in turn will probably lead you to using less plastic. So it's not like you need to completely go zero waste, but it is a step forward in thinking about and really considering what you're going to use before you do. I first participated in Plastic Free July in 2018, and it was not perfect. I used a tracker to track exactly what plastic I was using every single day. And I'm going to do the same again this month because I want to know exactly what it is that I did end up using and say, well, I have no other alternative. I really wanted to get involved with the challenge because I had never before really tried to give up plastic for an entire month. I have been, in many years, been reducing my plastic waste, but to say for an entire month, I'm just gonna say no to all plastic was not something that I had been doing. A lot of this has been thinking about non-plastic alternatives to use for something. So I really wanted to challenge myself and join a group of people who were also participating in something like this. And I did it last year. This year again, I will be tracking every single plastic I either buy or get rid of in July. So I'm going to show you what my little tracker looks like here. Very simple, just going to be listing things down as we go throughout the month. And I will be making updates every end of the week on my Instagram at First Gen Money. So if you're curious, if you want to follow along, people use the hashtag Plastic Free July to track what they're doing. I will also be using it. I will be sharing it on my stories. So joining the Plastic Free July challenge was also because I understand how much of a problem plastic pollution is in our world and how the climate is changing and how we need to act now in order to make sure that our kids have a planet that looks like the one that we're living in now, because the way things are going, it's very scary. I just watched with Ari the Netflix special, I believe it's 3101, and it goes through the plastic pollution episode. And you need to realize that every plastic that was ever created is still on this planet. And knowing that is it's scary. How is it possible? When you think about things like this, you ask yourself, I need to get involved. I need to do something about all of my plastic waste. If it's not flat in your face, facts and statistics will help you understand why it is a problem. So I'm going to share some of the stats that I have, and then we're going to go into what I do to reduce my plastic and some of the things that I will be doing for Plastic Free July. The first stat is that 38% of the 78 million tons of plastic packaging, so think about what your, cheese slices come in, that kind of packaging, is left to flow in the ocean, which means that by 2050, we can expect to see more plastic than we see fish in our oceans. which is like, what? 500 billion disposable cups are consumed in 1 year. These are your coffee cups, your red Solo cups that we're just buying and then using them once and saying goodbye. Why we call things like this single-use plastic, single-use items, because we use them once and then they no longer serve us. So we get rid of them, we throw them out of sight, out of mind, but it's not. 4 trillion plastic bags are used in a year. Americans throwing away 100 trillion of these annually. And only 1% of them are actually recycled. And lastly, plastic bottles. Americans purchase 50 billion plastic water bottles every year, which comes out to 13 plastic bottles per individual in this country every month. And of course we can say we're recycling, we're doing this, we're doing that, but even recycling certain plastics can be harmful for the environment. So what are some things that I'm doing this month to reduce my plastic consumption? So the first one, and the one that I talk about all the time, is using my menstrual cup. I have a Lunette cup that I use every month when I get my period, and this helps me avoid going to CVS, buying tampons or buying pads or whatever it is that I use, because I don't have to think about it. I already have a cup and it'll last me for many more years. So that is one thing that I say is probably the easiest thing to do. There was an article in Jezebel a while ago that said women spend about $120 every year on sanitary products. You know, if we think about like the span of your life, women and people who menstruate will have spent about $5,600 on these products. Whereas if you get one menstrual cup and you keep it for 10 years, that is a $40 purchase that you've made instead. Next thing that I'm doing is not putting my vegetables in a vegetable plastic bag at the supermarket. I see a lot of people who grab a plastic, I don't even know what it's called. Is it a bag? Plastic bag, and they just put their veggies in there because they don't want their veggies to sit in the cart. And I'm just like, you can just do without. You're going to go home and wash that anyway, I hope. So not using the veggie bags for my vegetables. And this one is going to be hard this month because we are going upstate with friends of ours and we're doing Instacart food grocery delivery service, which means I won't, for the first time, be packing my own groceries. Not yet sure if that has finalized. I offered to do the grocery run, but we'll see what actually ends up happening. But that is one way that I tend to reduce my plastic. The next one is eating less processed foods, right? As a vegetarian, there are a lot of things that I can eat that are fake meat substitutes or whatever. I forget what it's called, that burger that everybody's talking, Impossible Burger, you know, that comes in like plastic packaging. So saying no to those things, saying like, instead I'm gonna have some grilled veggies, some grilled portobello mushroom, which is my like meat of choice when I go to barbecues, and opt for fresh veggies instead of processed, who knows what it is. Of course, I'm going to be using my reusable water bottle this month like I do every month. It is the easiest way to cut down on your supply of plastic water bottles because that is the biggest culprit. I will not be going out to bars, mainly because I don't feel safe going out to bars, but also, as I try to think about reducing my plastic, there is no need to buy alcoholic drinks that come in a single-use cup. Typically, have we not had been in quarantine, I would just say no thanks to the straw, or if I was at a bar that was giving, that had drinks in plastic cups, I would just not get a drink. Yeah, I am that girl. If you want to learn more about some of the ways that you can reduce your plastic, I will leave a lot of resources in the description. I have also had a few articles on my blog about how I reduce my waste. Let me know if you participate in Plastic Free July. Follow along with the hashtag. I want to get tagged if you do it, and because you heard about it through me, because I want to see, who else is doing it out there in my community. So I hope you participate, and I will see you in my next video.